The story of gold coins in Ukraine is a long one, reaching back thousands of years. It's a history that's as rich and complex as the land itself. Before there was a country called Ukraine, ancient civilizations lived along the shores of the Black Sea. These people were traders, warriors, and kings, and they understood the power of gold. The first gold coins found in this region weren't made by Ukrainians, but they are a crucial part of the nation's heritage. They tell a story of ancient trade routes, powerful empires, and the timeless human fascination with this precious metal. For a historian or a collector, these early pieces are the bedrock of the entire numismatic history of the area. You have to understand, making a gold coin in ancient times was a huge deal. It wasn't just about money. It was a declaration of power and sovereignty. A king who could mint his own gold coins was telling the world that he was in charge. These coins traveled far and wide, carried by merchants and soldiers, spreading the influence of the kingdom that made them. In the territory of modern Ukraine, archaeologists have unearthed gold coins from powerful ancient cultures, like the Scythians and the Greeks. These coins often featured intricate designs, maybe a portrait of a ruler or a depiction of a mythical creature. They were symbols of wealth, art, and authority, all packed into a small, shiny disc. For people in America, it can be hard to imagine a history that deep. We think of 1776 as ancient, but the story of gold in Ukraine starts more than 2,000 years before that. The lands that make up modern Ukraine were a crossroads of civilizations. Greeks established colonies, Scythian horsemen roamed the steppes, and later, the Roman Empire extended its influence. Each of these groups left behind traces of their existence, and some of the most durable traces are their coins. Finding a Roman aureus or a Greek stater in Ukrainian soil is like finding a message in a bottle from a long-lost world, a direct physical link to the people who walked that land centuries ago. These ancient coins are more than just historical artifacts. They are the ancestors of modern Ukrainian money. They set a precedent for using precious metals as a store of value and a medium of exchange. The designs, the metallurgy, and the very idea of a standardized piece of gold representing wealth all have their roots in this ancient period. When you look at a modern Ukrainian gold coin, you are seeing the end result of a tradition that began with these first ancient pieces. It's a continuous story of how people in this part of the world have used gold to define themselves, project power, and create a lasting legacy. When we talk about the first major coin-making power on Ukrainian soil, one name stands out: the Bosporan Kingdom. This ancient state was centered on the Kerch Peninsula in what is now Crimea, and it existed for nearly 1,000 years, from the 5th century BC to the 4th century AD. Its capital, Panticapaeum, was a bustling port city and a major center of trade and culture. The Bosporan kings were smart, and they knew that to be a serious player in the ancient world, they needed their own currency. So, they started minting some of the most beautiful and significant gold coins of the era, known as staters. These Bosporan gold staters were the real deal. They were works of art, crafted with incredible skill. On one side, you would often see the head of a mythical creature, like a griffin, which was a symbol of the kingdom. On the other side, you might find an ear of grain, representing the wealth that came from the fertile lands around the Black Sea. These coins weren't just lumps of gold. They were carefully designed pieces of propaganda. They told a story about the kingdom's strength, its divine protection, and its agricultural prosperity. For anyone in the ancient world, holding a Bosporan stater was like holding a business card from a very powerful and wealthy kingdom. The influence of these coins was immense. They circulated all around the Black Sea and beyond, used in trade with the Greeks, the Scythians, and eventually the Romans. They were a stable and trusted currency, which helped make the Bosporan Kingdom a major economic force. For collectors today, these coins are incredibly desirable. They are rare, they are beautiful, and they come from a fascinating and important ancient civilization that thrived on Ukrainian land. Each stater is a miniature masterpiece, a tangible piece of a world that has long since vanished. Owning one is like owning a piece of the very soul of ancient history in that region. The legacy of the Bosporan Kingdom and its gold coins is so important that it is still celebrated in Ukraine today. The memory of this powerful, independent state that minted its own currency has become a powerful symbol for the modern nation. It's a reminder that the tradition of statehood and economic independence in Ukraine has very deep roots. The designs and motifs from these ancient staters have even inspired modern Ukrainian commemorative coins, creating a direct link between the ancient past and the present. It's a way of saying that the story of Ukraine didn't just start in 1991, it started thousands of years ago, with gold coins glinting in the sun on the shores of the Black Sea. Every country has its legends of lost treasure, and Ukraine has one of the greatest, the story of Hetman Polubatok's gold. This tale is part history, part myth, and it has captured the imagination of Ukrainians for centuries. The story goes that in 1723, a Cossack leader named Hetman Pavlo Polubatok, sensing trouble with the Russian Tsar, secretly deposited a massive fortune into the Bank of England. We're talking about barrels filled with 200,000 gold coins. He supposedly did this for safekeeping, arranging for the money to earn 7.5% interest. His final wish was that 80% of this immense fortune should one day be given to a future, independent Ukraine. This story is like something out of a movie. Polubatok was a powerful figure, a leader of the Cossack Hetmanate, but he fell out of favor with Peter the Great of Russia. He was arrested and died in a prison in St. Petersburg in 1724. The legend says he entrusted his gold to England just before his downfall, creating a national nest egg that would lie waiting for centuries. It's a powerful symbol of Ukrainian foresight and resistance, a belief that even in the darkest times, a leader was planning for the nation's future freedom. This wasn't just about money, it was about hope, a golden promise of sovereignty. Over the years, many have tried to find this treasure. In 1908, the Russian government sent officials to London to investigate the claim, but they came up empty-handed. After the fall of the Soviet Union, the newly independent Ukrainian government also made inquiries, hoping to claim a fortune that, with centuries of compound interest, would be worth trillions of dollars today. But the Bank of England has consistently stated that it has no record of any such deposit. Despite the lack of official proof, the legend refuses to die. It's too good, too powerful. It speaks to a sense of lost wealth and a dream of what could have been. The tale of Polubatok's gold is more than just a treasure hunt. It's a core part of Ukrainian national identity. It represents the wealth that was taken or lost during centuries of foreign rule. It's a story of defiance against a powerful empire and a deep-seated belief in the eventual restoration of an independent Ukraine. Whether the gold is real or not is almost beside the point. The legend itself has become the treasure, a story that has been passed down through generations, fueling a sense of national pride and a longing for justice. It's a constant reminder of a lost inheritance that the nation continues to strive to reclaim in other ways. After the powerful days of the Bosporan Kingdom and early states like Kiev and Rus, the story of distinctly Ukrainian gold coins goes quiet for a very long time. For hundreds of years, the lands of modern Ukraine were divided and controlled by larger, more powerful neighbors. The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, the Russian Empire, and the Austro-Hungarian Empire all held sway over different parts of the territory at different times. When you're part of a larger empire, you don't get to mint your own money. You use the currency of your rulers. This long period is what I call the centuries of silence in Ukrainian numismatics. During this time, gold coins certainly circulated in Ukraine, but they weren't Ukrainian. People used Russian gold rubles, Polish zlotys, or Austrian ducats. These coins were the currency of the realm, the money of the government in charge. While they were used for trade and commerce on Ukrainian soil, they represented foreign power and foreign authority. For the Ukrainian people, it was a constant reminder of their lack of sovereignty. The absence of a national gold coin was a symbol of their subjugation. A nation's coins are a declaration of its identity, and for centuries, Ukraine was not allowed to make that declaration. Think about what that means from a cultural perspective. For generation after generation, the money in your pocket featured the face of a foreign Tsar or emperor. The symbols and language on the coins were not your own. This has a powerful psychological effect. It reinforces the idea that you are a subject, not a citizen of your own free state. While Ukrainian culture, language, and traditions survived and even thrived in many ways, the official symbol of economic power, the gold coin, was always something imposed from the outside. The dream of one day minting a Ukrainian coin became intertwined with the dream of one day having a Ukrainian state. This long silence makes the eventual emergence of modern Ukrainian coins even more significant. It wasn't just about creating a new currency. It was about breaking a silence that had lasted for centuries. It was about reclaiming a right that had been denied for so long. The history of this period is defined by the absence of Ukrainian coins, which makes their reintroduction in the 20th century a moment of profound national importance. It was the end of an era of being defined by others and the beginning of an era of self-definition, written in the universal language of gold. After the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, Ukraine declared its independence. This was a monumental moment, honestly, the realization of a dream that had been kept alive for centuries. One of the most important tasks for the new nation was to establish its own identity, and that included creating its own currency. For the first few years, Ukraine used temporary coupons, but the goal was always to have a full-fledged national currency, the hryvnia. And with that came an even more symbolic goal: to mint the first gold coins of a modern independent Ukraine, breaking the long centuries of silence. This was a top priority for the newly formed National Bank of Ukraine, or NBU. The big moment came in 1996. To celebrate the 5th anniversary of its independence, Ukraine issued its very first series of gold coins. This was a huge deal. It wasn't just about putting some pretty coins on the market for collectors. It was a powerful statement to the world. It said, "We are here, we are a sovereign nation, and we have a history and a future." Issuing a gold coin is one of the ultimate expressions of statehood. It demonstrates economic stability, national pride, and a connection to a global tradition of sound money. For Ukrainians, seeing that first gold coin with Ukrainian symbols was an incredibly emotional and proud moment. The NBU didn't just make one coin, they released a series to mark the occasion. The star of the show was a coin with a face value of 200 hryvnias. This coin was a signal that Ukraine was serious about its numismatic program. They didn't start small. They came out of the gate with a beautifully designed, high-quality gold piece that could stand alongside coins from any other country in the world. The creation of these coins marked the birth of modern Ukrainian numismatics. It opened the door for a whole new field of collecting, and a new way for Ukraine to tell its story to the world. From that point on, the NBU began a tradition of issuing commemorative coins made of gold and other precious metals. These coins would go on to celebrate every aspect of Ukrainian life, from ancient history and cultural figures to scientific achievements and natural wonders. But it all started in 1996. Those first gold coins were the pioneers. They were the physical embodiment of a new era. They weren't just currency, they were artifacts of freedom, tangible pieces of metal that represented the end of a long struggle and the dawn of a new, independent future for the Ukrainian people. Let's take a closer look at that very first major gold coin from 1996, the one that really kicked everything off. This coin, known as the 5 Years of Independence coin, is honestly a cornerstone for any collector of modern Ukrainian numismatics. It had a face value of 200 hryvnias, which was a pretty significant denomination at the time. It was crafted from 900 fine gold, meaning it was 90% pure gold, and it weighed 15.55 grams, which is exactly half a troy ounce. So this wasn't just a tiny symbolic piece. It was a substantial gold coin, designed to make an impression both at home and on the international stage. The design of the coin is packed with meaning. On the obverse, which is the front of the coin, you see the iconic Ukrainian coat of arms, the trizub, or trident. This ancient symbol is surrounded by a beaded circle, which is a classic design element in coinage. Around the edge, you'll find the words Ukraina, that's Ukraine, the face value 200 hryvnia, or 200 hryvnias, and the year of issue, 1996. This side of the coin is a clear and powerful declaration of its origin and value. It's the official stamp of the new sovereign state, presented in a timeless and elegant way. Every element was carefully chosen to project strength and stability. The reverse, or back of the coin, is really where the celebration happens. In the center, it features a striking image of the main building of the National Bank of Ukraine itself. This was a symbolic choice, highlighting the institution responsible for the nation's economic sovereignty. Above the building, the dates 1991 to 1996 mark the 5 years of independence being commemorated. The inscription around the edge reads, Nationalny Bank Ukrainy, or National Bank of Ukraine. By putting its own headquarters on the very first gold coin, the NBU was cementing its role as a pillar of the new state. The 5 Years of Independence coin was produced in a very limited mintage, which immediately made it a sought-after collector's item. It wasn't intended for general circulation, but rather as a special issue to mark a historic milestone. For the people of Ukraine, it was more than just a collector's piece. It was a symbol of achievement. It represented 5 years of navigating the difficult path of building a new country from the ground up. This coin is a piece of history you can hold in your hand, a golden testament to the resilience and pride of a nation finally in control of its own destiny. If you want to see how Ukraine uses its modern coins to connect with its ancient past, there's really no better example than the Bosporan Kingdom gold coin. Issued by the National Bank of Ukraine in 2010, this piece is honestly a masterclass in historical storytelling. It was created to honor the ancient Bosporan Kingdom, that powerful state on the Black Sea coast that minted its own famous gold staters 2,000 years ago. By creating this coin, Ukraine was making a powerful statement. Our history on this land is deep, and our tradition of statehood goes back millennia. It's just a brilliant way to build national identity. Let's get into the specifics, because that's where the story is. This is a 100 hryvnias gold coin, minted from 900 fine gold. It weighs a full troy ounce, or 31.1 grams, making it a heavy, substantial piece. With a limited mintage of only 3,000 pieces, it was really designed from the start to be a rare and valuable collector's item. Everything about this coin, from its weight to its low mintage, signals quality and importance. The NBU wanted this coin to be a tribute worthy of the ancient kingdom it was honoring, and they absolutely succeeded. The design is what truly sets it apart. The obverse features the Ukrainian trizub, but below it, you see the ruins of Panticapaeum, the ancient capital of the Bosporan Kingdom. This immediately connects the modern state of Ukraine to this ancient civilization. The reverse is even more spectacular. It depicts a classical sailing ship on the waves of the Black Sea, with 2 dolphins leaping alongside it, all symbols associated with the maritime power of the Bosporans. But the coolest part is the inset relief of an actual ancient Bosporan gold stater, showing the iconic griffin. It's a coin within a coin, a modern tribute that literally incorporates the design of its ancient predecessor. This coin is more than just a beautiful object, it's a piece of political and cultural messaging. It reinforces Ukraine's historical claim to Crimea, where the Bosporan Kingdom was centered. It celebrates a pre-Slavic, pre-Russian civilization that thrived on Ukrainian territory, adding another layer to the nation's complex history. For collectors, it's a must-have. As of today, in late 2025, these coins are incredibly hard to find and command a high price. It represents the perfect fusion of ancient history, modern craftsmanship, and profound national symbolism, all captured in 1 ounce of pure gold. Since that first issue in 1996, the National Bank of Ukraine has built an impressive and diverse catalog of gold commemorative coins. This isn't just a random collection, it's a carefully curated program designed to function as a sort of national gallery in gold. Each coin tells a story, celebrating a different facet of Ukraine's identity. The themes range from honoring ancient civilizations and historical events to celebrating famous artists, writers, and scientists. Looking through the catalog of Ukrainian gold coins is honestly like taking a tour of the nation's history and culture, with each piece serving as a beautiful, miniature monument. The NBU has a popular series called Spiritual Treasures of Ukraine. Coins in this series often feature religious and cultural icons of deep significance. For example, they have issued stunning gold coins depicting the Oranta, a famous mosaic of the Virgin Mary from Kiev's St. Sophia Cathedral. These coins are incredibly detailed, capturing the beauty of the original artwork. They are minted to the highest proof quality, with mirror-like backgrounds and frosted designs, making them true works of art. These pieces connect the modern nation to its deep spiritual roots in the Kievan Rus era, a period of great power and cultural flourishing. Another fascinating area is the series dedicated to ancient cultures that existed on Ukrainian land. Besides the Bosporan Kingdom coin, the NBU has issued gold coins honoring the Scythians, the mysterious horsemen of the steppes known for their exquisite gold jewelry. A Scythian-themed gold coin might feature a design taken directly from an artifact found in a royal burial mound, like a golden pectoral or a comb. These coins are incredibly popular because they tap into the mystique and artistic brilliance of these ancient peoples. They serve as a reminder that Ukrainian history is a rich tapestry, woven from many different cultural threads. The coins also celebrate more recent history. There are gold coins commemorating the works of Taras Shevchenko, Ukraine's national poet, and others marking important anniversaries, like the founding of major cities or universities. Each one is a small history lesson. They are typically issued in very small mintages, often just a few thousand pieces, which preserves their rarity and value for collectors. For an American audience, seeing this program is a lesson in how a nation can use its currency not just for commerce, but as a tool for education and the preservation of national memory. Each gold coin is a chapter in Ukraine's ongoing story. When you get right down to it, a gold coin is just a piece of metal. But as we've seen, Ukrainian gold coins are so much more than that. They are symbols of sovereignty, artifacts of history, and expressions of national identity. For a country that spent centuries without the right to mint its own currency, each gold coin issued since 1991 is a victory. It's a declaration of independence that can be held in the palm of your hand. This symbolic value is just as important, if not more so, than the intrinsic value of the gold itself. These coins are a physical manifestation of the Ukrainian spirit. For collectors, both in Ukraine and around the world, these coins have become highly prized. Their value comes from a combination of factors. First, there's the gold content, which provides a solid baseline value. Second, there's the artistic merit of their designs, which are often stunningly beautiful and complex. And third, there's their rarity. The National Bank of Ukraine has been very smart about keeping mintages low, which creates scarcity and drives collector demand. A coin that was issued for a few $100s a decade ago might be worth thousands today, not just because the price of gold has gone up, but because its historical and collectible value has soared. In the current situation, with Ukraine defending its independence, these coins have taken on an even deeper meaning. They represent the culture, history, and sovereignty that the nation is fighting to protect. They are a reminder of a rich heritage that stretches back thousands of years, from the Scythians and the Bosporan Kingdom to the Cossack Hetmanate and the artists of the 20th century. In a time of conflict and uncertainty, these beautiful permanent objects serve as a powerful symbol of what endures. They are a testament to the idea that even when cities are damaged, the culture and history of a nation can be preserved in timeless treasures. So, the story of Ukrainian gold coins is a journey from ancient power, through centuries of silence, to a modern rebirth. It's a story of lost treasure, national legends, and the ultimate triumph of a people determined to reclaim their identity. Whether you're a serious numismatist, a history buff, or just someone who appreciates a great story, the world of Ukrainian gold coins offers a rich and rewarding field to explore. They are not just money, they are the soul of a nation, stamped in gold for the entire world to see. And that's honestly something you can't put a price on.